we will see how to calibrate and use the soil and water testing kit. In the kit we have different boxes containing different accessories. Here we have the temperature probe. Here is the instruction manual. Here we have the pH buffer solution bottles. Here we have the turbidity vials. In our first box we have the turbidity cable, power cable, DO electrode, KCl, Na2SO3 and DO membranes. Now we will take our power cable and insert its connector into the mains socket. Then we will turn on the kit by turning on the mains switch. Now we will take our turbidity cable and connect its one end to the TURB socket and its other end to the turbidity sampler. Here we have the conductivity cell and the pH electrode. Now we will insert the conductivity cells connectors into the COND.TDS.SAL sockets. Then we will insert the DO electrodes connectors into the DO socket. Now we will connect the pH electrodes BNC connector to the pH socket. Then we will connect the temperature probe's connector to the temp socket. Now we will take the storage solution bottle off the pH electrode by holding the electrode in one hand and the storage solution bottle in the other hand and pulling both of them apart. Now we will take an empty beaker and wash the electrode with distilled water and wipe it with a tissue. We will repeat the same process for the temperature probe. At the home screen we will press the PRG button and use the INC and DEC buttons to navigate through the menu. Cursor is a small underline under an option. Now we will press ENT when the cursor is under the calibrate option. Then we select pH and then 2 pointers. We have two buffer solutions. First we will select the UNCAL, then the BUF1 option. After selecting the BUF1 option we will submerge the electrode and the temperature probe into our first pH standard buffer solution. After submerging the electrode and the temperature probe into the buffer solution we will wait until the reading stabilizes. Once the reading stabilizes, we will press the INC or DEC buttons, to decrease or increase the reading and match the actual reading of the buffer solution. After adjusting the reading we will press ENT. After the calibration for first buffer solution is completed, we will wash the electrode and the temperature probe with distilled water and wipe them with a tissue. Now we will take our second pH buffer solution and submerge the electrode and the temperature probe into the solution. Then we will select BUF2 and press ENT. Then we will let the reading stabilize, and then change it to actual reading of the buffer solution using the INC and DEC buttons. Once calibration is completed, we will press Escape till we reach the home screen. In reading mode, the screen will show standby. We will press the ENT button to see the reading. After the calibration is completed, we will wash the electrode and the temperature probe with distilled water and wipe them with tissues. Now we will take conductivity cell and temperature probe and wash them with distilled water and wipe them with a tissue. Then we will press the PRG button and select Calibrate option. In the calibration menu we will select COND option, then the cell CNST option and then the by VAL option. Cell constant of our conductivity cell is written on the cell itself. We will change the value on the screen to the actual value using the INC and DEC buttons. After that we will select the By Measure option and start calibration using standard buffer solution. Then we will submerge the cell and the temperature probe into the buffer solution and wait till the reading stabilizes. Then we will use the INC and DEC buttons to adjust the reading to the actual reading on the screen. On the home screen we will press ENT to enter the reading menu and select COND to start taking reading for conductivity. After the calibration is completed we will wash the electrode and temperature probe with distilled water and wipe them with a tissue. Now we will start calibration for TDS by selecting TDS in Calibrate menu. Then in Cal TDS menu we will select Factor option. Then we will set the factor to 0.64 using the INC and DEC buttons. Now we will submerge the conductivity cell and the temperature probe into a standard solution of which we know the TDS reading. After taking the reading we will wash the cell and the temperature probe with distilled water and wipe them with a tissue. Here we have prepared a 3.5% salinity solution by dissolving 3.5 grams of salt in 100 milliliters of distilled water. Now we will enter the calibration menu and then select the SAL option to start calibration for salinity. We will set the salinity factor as 0.75 in the factor menu. Then we will select the cell CNST and then the by measure option. We will change the reading on the screen to 35 ppt. After calibration we will wash the cell and the temperature probe with distilled water and wipe them with a tissue. Now we will take an empty turbidity vial and wash it with distilled water and wipe it with a tissue. Here we have a standard solution of 400 NTU. We will rinse the vial with a small amount of the sample and then fill the vial with the sample till the white marking. Then we will align the white marking on the vial with the ridge on the right of the turbidity chamber. After placing the vial into the chamber, we will enter the PRG menu and then select the TURB option. Then we will select the 0 to 1000 option and then the low option. We will adjust the reading on the screen to the actual reading of the standard solution. Now we will enter the reading menu by pressing ENT at the home screen and then selecting TURB. After calibration is completed, we will discard the sample and wash the vial with distilled water. For the DO electrode, we will take off the white ring at the tip of the electrode. Now we will take a DO membrane and place it on the tip of the electrode. Then we will fix the membrane by reattaching the ring on the electrode. Now we will take the electrode out of the container, wash it with distilled water and wipe it with a tissue. Now we will fill the container with 7.5% KCl solution and put it back onto the electrode. Then we will wash the electrode with distilled water and wipe it with a tissue. We will also wash the temperature probe with distilled water and wipe it with a tissue. Then we will submerge the probe and the electrode into a container filled with distilled water. Now we will select DO in Calibrate menu. Then in the CalDO menu we will select Span option. Then we will adjust the reading on the screen to DO reading of distilled water at a specific temperature. Dissolved oxygen value of distilled water at 20 degrees Celsius is 9.2. We will adjust the reading on the screen to 9.2. Now we will enter the reading mode by pressing ENT on the home screen and selecting DO option. Now we will take the temperature probe and the DO electrode out of the distilled water container, and wipe them with a tissue. Now we will test the parameters on tap water, starting with pH. After submerging the pH electrode and the temperature probe into tap water, we will press ENT and select pH to start taking reading. pH reading for tap water ranges from 6.5 to 8.5 pH. Then we will submerge the conductivity cell and then press ENT and select COND. Conductivity reading for tap water ranges from 0.05 millisiemens per centimeter to 0.8 millisiemens per centimeter. Next we will take reading for TDS. TDS reading for tap water should be below 0.5 ppt. After taking reading for TDS we will take reading for salinity. Salinity reading for tap water should be below 0.5 ppt. Now we will take reading for DO by submerging the DO electrode into the tap water. We will wave the electrode around in the sample and wait till the reading stabilizes. Dissolved oxygen reading for tap water at 20 degrees Celsius is around 8.4 ppm. After taking reading, we will wash the temperature probe, pH electrode, conductivity cell, and the DO electrode with distilled water and wipe them with a tissue. Your soil and water testing kit is ready to be used. Thank you.